Yeah, he's trying to jump, and look how he's slamming him on the ground, pushing him with his knee, really holding tight on his collar. And again, I'm reacting and reviewing videos by the dog daddy. And people ask me, why do you keep just doing dog daddy videos? Why do I keep reviewing him? Because he's so famous. I'm much more concerned and afraid that people will learn his techniques and harm dogs. It's nothing personal. I don't know the guy. He might be a saint in his everyday life. But the way that the dogs are being trained here or being treated, yeah, that's not the way to go. This video is called 2-for-1 Aggressive Dogs versus the Dog Daddy. So already a bad start, because the dogs are not versus anyone. Maybe it's the dog daddy versus the dogs. Dog daddy gets 2 massive dogs under control. Let's see. Okay, so there's a very fearful dog that's trying to get away from the dog daddy. But as they say, first a Cane Corso who doesn't like anyone getting close to him. Yeah, he definitely doesn't like it. He's trying to get away from the dog daddy. And what does the dog daddy do? Pulls him towards him even more. Yeah, the dog is really trying to get away. You see him like shaking his head. He's not even trying to bite him or anything like that. But of course, he's wearing a muzzle. I wouldn't be surprised if he also has a prong collar. Dog daddy must get the beast under control. Yeah, name calling is always good. Establish leadership, get the dog comfortable with following direction, and teach the owners to do the same. So establish leadership. What does leadership have to do with this dog? The dog daddy is not his owner. He's never going to be his leader or anything like that. And also, leadership is something that's gained, not taken by force. Yeah, so really, the dog is trying to get away. When the dog daddy sees that he's not actually trying to bite him and just trying to get away, then his bravery takes the muzzle off. By the way, using a muzzle is not a bad thing while training an aggressive dog, but not for this purpose, not putting a muzzle on the dog just to prevent him when you're forcing him into things that the dog doesn't like. See how the dog is not making any eye contact, is trying to get away. The leash is really tight all the time because the dog is trying to stay away from the dog daddy. But as it say here, dog daddy finishes what he needs to do with the first dog, but he is very aware of the other dog's behavior. Yeah, I took off the sound because there's music in the background, but you can see on the right side, there's this German Shepherd that's also barking like crazy. He's probably gonna handle him the same way in a second. So again, this dog is looking away, trying to not make any eye contact, trying to get away from the dog daddy. And runs straight to the owner. Doesn't want to be even a second longer with the dog daddy. Oops. German Shepherd gets handled, and now both dogs are ready for their owners to get their training so they can become pack leaders. Again, with this pack leader bullshit, even if dogs did live in a pack, and they usually don't, this being the alpha, being the leader of the pack is all nonsense. I made a video about this alpha theory. It was disproven decades ago, but why not continue using it if that excuses your aggressive behavior toward the dog? You can look at the German Shepherd is trying to get away from the dog daddy. He's pulling on his leash, choking him. I went back a little bit because I want you to look at the dog's mouth. Look at that lip licking, which is a sign of stress. It's very small, but as a trainer and as a dog owner, you need to be looking for those little things. Here we go. And pulling on his neck. Yeah, the dog is definitely not calm. You see he's trying to get away. So basically all we saw in those two videos were dogs being choked, being pulled around, being forced into being in a situation that basically scares them. Didn't fix anything, and yet this video has 58 million views. Okay, let's see the next one. This one is called The Immediate Regret After Trying to Claim My Dogs Were His Was Real. Already sounds kind of sketchy, but it has like 44 million views, so let's see. So I'll read the text. He tried to tell me that my dogs are his, LOL. Yeah, I'm certain that you walk down the street and some random guy is going to tell you, yeah, all of your dogs are actually mine. Yeah. So I decided to make him regret lying. He's lying? Who was actually lying in this video? I bet he wasn't expecting my dogs to be trained like this. Okay, so this is a training video. Let's see how trained they are. Yeah, he's just giving them, but he's about to, okay, he's running away, and the dogs are running with him, pulling the guy. Sorry, there's no training here whatsoever. You can try it at home. If your dog is bonded to you, then try giving him to someone and quickly run away and see if your dog runs after you. Most dogs will, because they want to be with their owners. They might not even notice that someone else is holding the leash. The next video is called Extremely Dominant Dog Tries to Take Down the Dog Daddy. Must see. And how many people wanted to see the dog daddy being taken down? 41 million views. Nice! Extremely dominant and powerful dog gives dog daddy a run for his money. Yeah, so again, the dog is just trying to get away. What the dog daddy is doing is choking the dog. That's a very interesting type of training. Spectators observing this training class were uncertain that the dog daddy would have success with such a big and aggressive dog. Right now, I'm not actually seeing any aggressive signs. I'm just seeing a dog that's trying to get away and maybe trying to jump on the person that's holding the leash so tight. So tight. There's like 2 inches of leash there, and he's holding the dog in the air on his throat. Not really trying to bite him, not even looking at him, just trying to get the muzzle off his face. Is probably not muzzle trained. Akitas are naturally dominant and independent dogs. Dominant over what? At what situation? Dominance is not something that means that the dog is dominant over everything. He's dominant over people, dominant over dogs, dominant over resources like toys, food, space. No, a dog can be dominant in a specific situation with one dog, but can be subordinate in a different situation with a different dog. And this dog is definitely not trying to be dominant. He's just afraid. So every time he's trying to take the muzzle off, the dog that is just taking his front legs and throwing them on the ground so he can't take the muzzle off. With the owners struggling to walk their dog anywhere near others and fearing their own dog's aggression towards them, Dog Daddy knew he couldn't give up on this dog. Such bravery. And every time the dog is even barking, he's choking him. By the way, I think that he's wearing a prong collar, but even if it's just a choke collar, it's so bad. I mean, this entire dog's weight on his throat, and he's even pulling it harder, choking, destroying all kinds of things in the neck. And of course, the pain and stress. But things took a turn when the dog was able to pull his muzzle off while still being aggressive. Again, not being aggressive, being fearful, trying to get away. He's biting his own leash, trying to get away, trying to pull away from the dog daddy. A lot of lip licking. The dog is staring at the other direction. Let's see what it says here. And teach each dog to respect their handlers so there are one less dangerous dog walking the streets. Such a saint. A lot of lip licking, panting. Everyone could finally breathe normal, except for the dog. So what are we actually seeing in this edited video? We're seeing learned helplessness. The dog is basically being flooded. They're making him do something that he's really afraid of until he gets to the point that he's not struggling anymore because he understands, in a way, that he can't really control anything. He's just completely helpless, so he doesn't even struggle anymore. In the long run, these dogs become even more aggressive and unpredictable. Next video is called "This Dog Was So Strong, He Knocked Dog Daddy's Shades Off." How many people wanted to see his Gucci shades knocked off? 38 million people. Nice. Now, should you even wear shades while you're training a dog? No, probably not, because dogs are very good at reading our gestures, our small things like where we're looking, what we're doing with our face, with our hands, and all of that. Wearing shades, wearing hats, these are all things that confuse the dog and might actually make the dog more stressed. Proof that even the most aggressive dogs thrive and will improve when they have someone else who's in charge. Again, there's a theme here of being in charge, being dominant, being the alpha, being the boss. I don't know, I'm more into cooperating, more into understanding the dog's needs and knowing how to treat the dog according to that. And it's possible. Yes, I'm treating these types of dogs all the time. Okay, he's barking, trying to get away from the dog daddy, not lunging at him, trying to get away. And of course, the dog daddy's plan is probably going to be flooding the dog. Yes, so this dog is showing aggressive behavior, but again, I'm actually expecting those things. I'm expecting a dog that's very fearful, and when he previously tried to get away from the dog daddy, from the threat, and he couldn't, and now he's being pushed, then they might actually try to bite. Yeah, he's trying to jump, and look how he's slamming him on the ground, pushing him with his knee, really holding tight on his collar. I think he's using a sleep lead, so basically using choke collar. And what does it say? As you can see, the dog really puts up a fight. He doesn't understand yet that he can trust new people, but dog daddy will soon get him to understand. Interesting. So if someone is forcing you into a room full of the scariest things ever, are you going to trust this person? Poor dog. Right? Yeah, and he's putting the choke leash. Staying firm and assertive, calm and confident, dog daddy is able to communicate with any dog. There's no communication going on here. The dog is actually shutting down. It's learned helplessness. Flooding, in most cases, causes learned helplessness. Look how the dog is wagging his tail very, very low between his legs. And the second that the dog daddy is stopping, and we probably didn't see what came before that, but the dog is automatically sitting down, cowering down. Very low tail. Now this boy is happy to follow directions. He is trusting of meeting new strangers while having someone else in charge of the leash. This dog is definitely not happy. he gets rewarded by us taking his muzzle off. Shake off, panting, lip licking, so many signs of fear. No trust here. It doesn't feel good. Seriously, what did we learn here? That the dog daddy likes being dominant. He likes using chokes and prongs. He likes to hold the dog really, really, really tight with the leash so that the dog can't really jump or try to move away from him. He likes flooding. He likes getting them into this state of learned helplessness. And he likes to say that the dog is cured and happy when the dog is showing a lot of signs of anxiety and fear, which in the long run, and many times in the short run as well, can cause the dog to be even more aggressive and unpredictable. So I beg of you, don't use those methods. There are better methods out there that are actually scientifically proven to be effective and safe. And on a personal note, these videos take a very big toll on me. When you review someone that has millions of followers that are treating him as if he was a guru or a god, you get a lot of hate from the comments. And I'm fine with it. I'm a big boy. I'm not saying this because I want sympathy. I'm saying this because I actually want you to share these videos and like, subscribe, do whatever you can to actually promote the channel, because that's the best way to teach people that the way to go, the way to train dogs is with rewards, is with compassion, is by understanding the dog's needs and not just forcing the dog into a very stressful situation and hoping that everything is going to go away. And also, we can watch this video next.